No, small introduction to Compostela. So we were 1 week, or actually 6 days, from Le Puy-en-Velay to Saint-Chély, and that's approximately like 140 kilometers.
Yeah.
And it's a start, like Le Puy-en-Velay is a very popular start for one of the routes that goes to Compostela.
So it's a huge cathedral.
Huge cathedral,
on the
mass
top of the
at
hill.
the start. And so it's a good idea to start there because you will be with a group that you will get to know and see every day.
We don't want to spoil, but like the mass is really worth 7 a.m. Go for it. There is some pretty great atmosphere, and also at the end there is
some magic
happening.
Yeah, good for sure. As we were leaving for the world tour, we really wanted to spend some time with my family, and we gave 1 week to my dad, then 1 week to my mom, and my dad chose as our 1 week together to do Compostela, like to go walking for 1 week on El Camino.
Which is something super nice, but something that we would maybe not do by ourselves naturally.
Sure.
So it was great that he proposed it. I think it was Claire's, his partner's idea. But yeah, it was a really great idea to do it in 4. And they already did it before, so they had some experience about it. And that really changed a lot for us because we kind of felt like free in mind. We didn't have anything in terms of planning. We were just going with the flow. It's easy because it's you who decides how far you want to walk per day and what's your goal in it. So if your goal is to do the record in the world walking and you want to like show and prove yourself how strong you are, you can push your limits. Or you can do it for different reasons. You can do it for the religious reasons. You can do it for meeting other people. You can do it just to be in nature, relax, and completely disconnect. You can do it for the reasons of like spending a quality time with your family. There are many, many reasons, and depending on why you're doing it, you do Compostela the way you want to do it. It's possible for everyone in the way they want.
At the end of day 1, today we did 22 kilometers, I think, and we're almost at our destination. We're a bit tired, but the weather was quite nice. Lisa is using me, as always, and massaging. And this is the grand arrival of Claire. Woohoo! We did it! Actually, right now I'm thinking about my highlight of like this entire week. It was finding strawberries and raspberries and blueberries on the way.
It was a pretty cute day. It was a day where we walked a lot and we had to go off the road for a while for the last 3 kilometers because our accommodation was not really on the way. And we were kind of treating ourselves because we were like off the way. There were suddenly so many like wild fruits, and that was pretty amazing. And we were going really slow, and like we were collecting all these fruits on the way, which was pretty nice. And the scenery was just beautiful.
Yeah, especially also like the 5th day when we crossed the Aubrac plateau. And it's totally different scenery from what you're used to. There is absolutely no construction. It's just cows and empty
So
land.
many cows. And they're so beautiful.
So beautiful. And they look pretty happy, if you ask me.
Life of these cows, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And one other thing, now thinking about the cows, the food is so delicious. Like the local products are everywhere. And definitely because you are walking the whole day, you are very hungry. So the meals are kind of highlights of your day, naturally. But also the quality of the food, I feel like it's on a very high level. And we loved everything we ate during these 6 days.
Quality and
Delicious.
quantity, like because they know you've been walking the entire day, and they treat you to like these 3-course, 4-course meals with like unlimited like kind of food. And the food was really the highlight, and we didn't necessarily expect it because it's also pretty cheap, like to stay in these guest houses where you have dinner, breakfast, and the sleeping. and you eat on a large table with every other guest.
It creates a great atmosphere, and you get to know other people. But yeah, you will definitely enjoy this part. So Paul is wearing shorts every day and ankle hiking boots. For me, I have a walking shoes. They're perfectly fine as well. And I'm doing leggings because I'm super cold. Of course, he has like the coquillage, which is sign of Compostela, and water connected to him so he can keep hydrated. Another funny thing that I didn't expect was how much water we're gonna be drinking. So I was calculating about 4 liters per day that we drank. It also helps your muscles to not get the muscle pain, muscle ache. So it's beneficial for you, and also you sweat a lot out of it. But yeah, my pee was never as clean.
And we were lucky because it was summer, but it wasn't so hot. Like actually, the sun wasn't there like every day. But what we've been told is that even when you go like in summer, always like pack some water, raincoat or something, because the weather
Waterproof,
can be very changing, and sometimes you're really out there. Like there's nothing around. You cannot really buy some equipment, so come a little bit prepared.
Come prepared for any kind of weather, even though it's summer. In this area, it rains a lot. Super much. It's all the time a different scenery. And right now, we are the fastest of all the people we met. We overcame them all. They're all taking lunch and we keep going. Woohoo! My two worries were if I'm gonna be capable of keeping the same pace as you and your parents, because I know that you are maybe more strong than me, and your parents already did it before, so they had some kind of experience before going for this. And the second one was if I am well equipped, if my shoes are the right kind of the shoes, if my feet are not gonna hurt, my bag is not gonna hurt, and if I didn't take too many or too little of the things. Those were my two things, two worries in my mind.
And I think on both of them you were pretty reassured at the end, because like for the strength part, well, actually you were often like in front or like extremely like in the mood and like walking all the time, wanting to do all the time more. So
yeah, I was pretty energetic, so I was really happy about that.
And on the things that we're carrying, actually it was also a test for like our backpack. It's the one that we're taking for the world tour. So we really wanted to test it out for a week, and it's very comfortable. It resists to the water, like without the extra protection as well.
I never had better backpack than this one. Like it's great how all the weights that you have, it's shifted from your back to this bottom area. So you are holding all your weight on
the hips. Yeah.
On the hips. It's really well adjusted to my body.
I just decided to extend a bit the pre-lunch walk, so it's going to be easier for the afternoon to reach the destination.
2 more hours.
So it's going to be 6 hours without real break this morning.
There were small breaks.
Small breaks.
Very small with big cakes.
So it's kind of tough now on the legs, honestly.
No, it's much tougher if you sit for a long time, so as far as you can go,
you go.
The high season is considered from June till September, I think.
Summer, basically, yeah.
And there are benefits to going in the high season, which could be being there with more people, which naturally means more interactions, and many people do it for this. You can get friends for life if you do it for long enough, and if you are lucky to meet the good kind of people. And that's a great part of the Camino. So going in the high season is not necessarily a bad thing, but it comes with certain alternation. Like you have to adjust to it, so you have to, for example, plan in advance. But if you are going alone or even in a couple, I don't think it's such an issue, and you can always find something last minute. For us, it was a bit more complicated, which we realized the first day. So basically, we had only one accommodation planned. It was for the first night. But seeing how many people there were in the morning mass in the church, starting from the same spot as us, we realized that maybe it would be a good idea to do some kind of bookings in advance. So Claire started to call all the places that she had in her small book. I don't know how it's called, like
topo guide or
there are multiple ones, and you don't have all the accommodations in that one book. One book would have maybe 10 or 15 from one place, but then you open another one and there are like different places that this guide is recommending. So don't be desperate. Like if you don't find any available accommodation in your one guide, maybe it's also a good idea to check on the internet or like borrow another guide from other people, because it's really popular. Many people have this little book. So it's very possible that you're going to find the different options in a different guide.
I think that we see the end. I see towers there in the horizon. I think it's the end of today. 35 kilometers. It's tough, it's a tough day. We did it! We did it! We did it! And so in this cathedral, we're like 120. It's like the cathedral is almost full with pilgrims.
And it was cool because at some point they're asking, okay, which countries are represented here? So of course, France is the biggest representative, and most of the people we met on the way were French. But then it was pretty cool that there were people from other countries as well. There was like one lady from China. I was representing Slovakia.
Canada.
There were Canadians, Portuguese, Spanish people. So yeah, there were kind of other countries as well. Depending on where you're starting, it's gonna vary. I think when you're starting in Spain, which is the most famous part of El Camino, it might be much more international than in France.
Actually, we've seen like people on the Camino with very small backpacks. Like they just have like maybe 1 liter of water, one extra T-shirt, one extra pair of socks, and they go for a long time. Like.
But I was thinking if these people are having these special services that they send their big luggages from place to place, and they just do the day backpack from every day. This is also a possibility, and many people are using it. We met a lady that was sending all her dog's equipment along, so it costs, I think, 20 euros per luggage to send it from one place to another. And it can be a way how to make your life easier if you're planning a long way, or you don't really, if you have a back problems, or you don't trust yourself with a big luggage.
Or people do it with a family, so they have a baby, and the same, like the baby equipment takes so much space and it's heavy, so they just like have this being like carried out during the day, and they just like walk with the baby like in the back or in front. So on the Camino, you will see like every type of group. Like
there's no age limit, or
kids.
Everyone can do it.
Super cool. And some have donkeys with them.
It's another option how to
Apparently it's not only like good stuff with a donkey, because sometimes he will just stop to eat.
You have to adjust to its pace.
You have to wait. You cannot do anything. So
it can be a pretty cool experience for the kids if you do this pilgrimage with the donkey.
Mm-hmm.
Refreshed?
It's cold.
It's cold.
Yeah, actually, every time you sleep in a guest house, you get a stamp in your credential where, well, exactly, like every time you go to like guest house, or maybe like some also chapels on the way, you can have a proof that you've been there, and then it's like testimony of your journey towards Compostela. So you can stop at some point, and then you just continue from where you left off. You continue stamping, and at the end, when you finally reach Compostela, so maybe 5 years later,
yeah.
actually you can show that you've done everything. And such a nice idea that you can be on the Camino just for a weekend to do 1 or 2 steps, go back to normal life, then take 3 weeks. So yeah, I think that now that we started it, we really see how easy it is to just.
We got our first insight and taste of it, and I think it's great that we now know that we can continue anytime we like.
It's very easy to follow the way. Like first, it's like a pass, like a hiking pass. So there is all the time the marking, like white and red, that you can follow, and also like pilgrims are. Like you see them quite often.
Kind of showing the way as well, yeah.
And you know someone is a pilgrim because they will have like this shell on their backpack. It's a kind of a sign of Compostela. So we got ours in some chapel somewhere on the second day.
Yeah.
And actually, I think I'm going to keep it for the world tour. I think it's such a cool.
Yeah, it's little, memory. It's light, and it's very cute.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows.
Exactly. It's our last day, and it's a short hike, 8 kilometers, and mostly going down because yesterday not only was the longest, but also we're going uphill. And it's said it's over.
Yeah, so sad.
It's so nice.
We could walk even 10 days more, no? Friends, like, do you think this is a good way how to spend a holiday? We never did like a holiday just with them too. We always did it with the kids. So how do you feel about that?
No, for sure it was out of the ordinary. So it means that I will remember it as like this 1 week that we did all together because we were in nature. It was a bit challenging. It was seeing them with different skill set that you're usually used to. Like, for example, Claire, you know, she was handling all the guest house calling.
Yeah, super nice.
Yeah, and also you see them because you're going to spend the entire day together. So you see them more human as well, like moments where you're tired, moments where you don't really want to talk to anyone, some frustration, and going over this and in the end, like sticking together. Yeah, I think for sure it brought us closer. We have this one thing that we can continue together as well. No, I'm very glad they proposed to us that to do it together. One fun thing that happened on like day 3, I think, is that when we got to the place, she's like, "Okay, guys,
to the
accommodation. Please let me know if you think you have bed bugs. It's okay, I will still host you, but please let me know. I will give you like a bag so you can put your backpack in. I will like wash all your clothes."
And we were really surprised. Like we're like, "What? Why she's talking about bed bags? Like, does she have bed bags?" And then Claire actually told us it's a pretty common issue since there is like many pilgrims and they're like changing their place every night. There is a much bigger possibility that the bed bugs are transmitted from one place to another. So it's something to be kind of cautious about. And as a good practice, at the end of your pilgrimage, even though you don't think you have bed bugs, it's good to put your bag in a plastic bag and close it for a week.
Yeah, and first put like some products to get rid of them, and also wash all your clothes at 60 degrees, and then you just to be sure.
Yeah.
So we did.
You should be fine. Actually. We did that, and we are free of insects.
Mm-hmm. And on our Instagram, we did like we saved a story where we put some information about Compostela with some
so feel
extra
free
footage.
To check it out.
Yeah, St. Paul. Yeah, and I hope you enjoy like some footage that's coming. And stay tuned because we're doing so much currently. Like right now we're in Slovakia, but last week we were doing the paragliding course.
And the world tour is starting in 3 weeks. So that's the beginning of our really high focus on creating the videos more often, so you can see what's going on.
Stay tuned.